Hey, Luis, do you have a document, a notes document for this?
Yes, I do. Do you want me to share it with you?
Yes, please.
Can you move it into a doc?
It is in the Google Doc, isn't it? Luis, is it in the Google Doc?
Yes, it is. I'm just emailing it to Luca.
Is it on our Google Docs? First section or?
This is just like basic notes I just took.
Okay, and this is just in your personal?
Yes.
You mind sharing it with me too, Luis?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, me three.
Hey, hi, Riley.
Do I need to replace it?
I'll give you access to it too. Yeah. All right, I got it.
Okay, we've got it.
So I guess I could just start now. So when Nana comes around, or if this is like pre-recorded or anything like that, she will need to first like she'll need to first.
We can't count on that. So don't worry about that.
Could you repeat that, Joe?
Yeah, we can't really hear you, Joe.
We can't count on that, so don't worry about that.
All right. So I guess to start off with this process, we need to start off with the VNC server. It's like a application on our desktop that we need access to get to the Raspberry Pi. And then I'll share my screen here, just to have everything more concrete. So can you guys see my screen by any chance?
Yes.
All right. So this is our Raspberry Pi. It's running on a specific IP that's on the document. Megan, did you get the document by any chance? No. Okay. Wait 1 sec.
But I think I have a lot of this info, so it's not a huge deal.
What are we doing here? This is when you want to send data to,
This
What
is
do you want?
accessing DB. Yeah.
so when we want to get to the DB, this is how we do it?
Yeah.
Okay, can you type that down so I know what the goal of this is?
And then I guess through the VNC server, you would go through the document or put in the IP address right here, 192.168.168.30 on port 5200. This is what we would use if we wanted to be on the WISRD
That
Wi-Fi.
would be ours.
No, that wouldn't be yours.
That would be yours.
Because
Yes, that would be us.
Right.
Any WISRD
We have to
member.
use the external
Yeah.
IP address here.
Can we have that?
No, not here, where you are.
Right. So that we can come in.
Yes.
We have to use the port number too because
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Is that clear here?
I'll make it clear right now.
Well, you've come into our pies before.
It's just, I'm making it clear so that everybody else who does it knows exactly what to do. I know exactly what you're talking about. though.
Okay.
Yeah, and then for our external IP, it would be 198.101.20.77.5200. So this is if I wanted to connect. This is how I'm connecting at the moment from home. So it could be accessed from any other Wi-Fi besides WISRD Wi-Fi. So that's how one would access it remotely. And then the username of this would be like Pi, and then the password would just be wizard.wildwood.
Did you say the username would be like pi
No,
or the
it is pi.
wizard?
The username is pi, lowercase
is
pi.
pi.
It's just pi.
So P.
It's not like pi, it's
It's
pi.
just pi. but
Pi.
it means
When
FileZilla,
somebody says
VNC.
like something, I'm pretty sure, let's remove like out of our vocabulary when I'm trying to.
Especially clear. Johnny, it'd be L1KE.
And then the wizard, the password would be wizard.wildwood. So it'd
Okay.
be, yeah. Okay, so then this would bring us to our page, and then just to get something like tidy workup, I just normally go every day or every week, sudo apt upgrade. I'll just like upgrade, update itself, and then you just go sudo apt update. So this is just like refreshing all the DB and everything that is on this, like just updating the software essentially. And it'll just take like a minute or two, and then it'll have all these like packages downloaded to be up to date. So next, we want to make sure the Apache server is online. Earlier this year, Joe and I, we downloaded Apache 2, which is basically what we will be using for the next steps of this project, which involves like JavaScript, stuff like that, how to access and how to display the data that we are collecting. So just to make sure that this is running, we want to go system, ctl, status, Apache. So this means that our if you search up our IP address on the net, it will come up through this like Apache server. So I'll try to see if I can do it real quick.
And you said that this code that I just highlighted here, or the system CTL status Apache 2 is for what again?
It's to basically, so you know how we have these like domains when we search up like websites? This,
Yeah.
our domain would be our IP address. So if we wanted to display this set of data that we're collecting from the coral reef of photo pictures, someone who from an outside audience can just simply type up the IP address on their like web browser, and it'll display this like web page where it'll just have the data. And this is the next step that Joe and I were talking about. But if we want to have like the future of WISRD or MORI involved in this, this is like key information just to make sure they're up to date with what's the goal for the next year or two.
We're running a web server on this. So you know about
I don't know about Apache.
Apache. So Apache 2 is a web server. And so it's a service just like is a service. And so the pi is not a web server. So we put like a HTML page. The URL that we created. So what we're planning is to fact
Yep.
We have a code that we did that for
So we can
so
just
you can use that code to figure out how
and we know, well, we already know the JavaScript. Do we know anybody who knows JavaScript and understands it? Okay.
We can't hear you, Joe. I think you're behind the microphone.
yeah, I moved it up so that somebody was asking, do we have anybody that knows the JavaScript and PHP that we use to
We got nothing. We can't hear you. We can only hear that you are talking, but can't hear what you're saying.
Luca asked if we had anybody that knew the JavaScript and PHP. And at this point, we don't. That's what is in development. So that's what Luca and Marley, and if Nana comes in, those are some of the things that they would be doing. So Luca and I will be working some over the summer on some of this stuff to get it up. So, but we've got, as far as I understand, Luis, we've got the database set up, right?
Yeah, I guess. I think, yeah, we just need to figure out how to display it onto the web page.
Yeah, and so now, and do we have, are we pulling information from the Pi at St. Monica's?
We should be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so in theory, we're pulling the data from the Pi. And so now it's just a matter of getting the interface so that when somebody logs in, they're able to see the data, the GUI.
Question. When this data is being pulled into your database, do we still have a copy of it on our Pi?
Currently, we do.
We want to have redundancy, so I'd like to keep.
Well, that's, you're going to run out of space. And so that leads us to the next question. Once we get some of this in place, the next question will be, so how are we backing this up? So that'll be.
How, do you have a gut feeling for how much space, if we take a photo a day for?
Well, we right now we have 8 gigabytes or 8 terabytes on our hard drive.
But on our Pi,
You're
What's
going
our
to
time?
run out.
what's
Probably
our time frame?
Yeah, you're going to run out at some point because you got 8 gigs of RAM.
We have,
Or 8. Is it a 4 gig or an 8 gig?
I think it's 8 gigs.
Yeah, I think it's 8 gigs.
But we have, if the RAM, we have like, I think 90 gigabytes of storage
Where?
on that file.
You gotta have it someplace because it's not on the file. So
Uh,
do you have an external drive?
No.
So
It's
let's
in
check.
the SSD,
Check that.
the micro SSD, or SD, excuse me.
Oh, you have an SD card?
The micro SD that runs Raspbian.
No. Oh, I don't know if you can access that.
You sure? Because whenever, well, no, that's just the straight up the hard drive of the computer.
Oh, okay, so you think it's storing it there?
Yeah, it's a like ridiculously large SD card, small SD card.
We can check on it.
So
Okay, so you don't take it and delete it, so we have a backup.
We aren't deleting any data, right, Luis?
No, it's being saved to our external hard drive.
We're just pulling it from, so there's actually, but if you guys have that kind of redundancy, you can do the backup.
yeah, and then I did the math really quick. We can do about 1,000 photos, give or take,
Okay.
per 5 gigabytes of storage.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
All right, we're back to you, Luis.
Yeah, so here on my screen is our IP address on the WISRD Wi-Fi. It'd be just like 192.168.168.33, and it would show this Apache web page. And it's very this is what the next step would be, just like to update and edit all the like JavaScript info that needs to be updated for this web page. And it would be pretty simple to just to access it. Just go cd/var/ww/html ls. And then we have these 3 documents in the top, and we're going to want to change index.html just to update it. Well, yeah. Well, you would have to go into the file, create a new file, and just update this page. Okay. And then moving forward to how to access.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
to update it.
So
To add data to it?
no, just to change what's in the document.
Oh, you're updating the config file
Yes,
for Apache?
yes.
Oh, okay, I know how to do that. So by now you probably figured out everything.
Yeah.
So Apache has a config file. Config files, what's the host ID, what's my fixed ID, what's this, what's that. And where are the servers. And once it has all that information, then you load your web page.
Okay.
And is that
I have something that says, talk to Joe, he knows. a lot." So,
Hey, Luis, are you going to show the MySQL
Yes, yes.
where you can actually see the DB through the web version, or the web, my PHP admin or whatever?
Well, I can show both ways. I can show it from the terminal. I can show it from the PHP. So just to sum it up, this is the JavaScript code. This is like HTML5 on the screen. Right here, this is what I guess is updating this whole Debian page. So it'd just be like background, margins, the background colors, all this stuff is like through JavaScript just to update this web page, and then someone would have to take over, learn JavaScript or learn HTML5 and like CSS just to get the background of the database to make it like very user friendly. Yep. And to access,
I'm learning a lot of that language right now. I can share links with everybody.
the different like icons. Okay.
yeah, and then to access well, here we have it right here on this slide. This is our database on PHP It has, it's like a kind of like a web browser. It's, you just access it. It's like a,
So
Our
for
username-
this GUI, you just literally inputted the URL 192.168.33/phpMyAdmin / to get there.
yes.
Username.
And then our
yeah.
username is rock. So just capital R, lowercase O, capital C, S, and it'll be the same thing as password.
Okay.
Yeah.
Password using this thing.
Then you just go to databases. Here we have rocks, and then you go to Coral Images, and this is our whole structure right here.
And if you'll recall, this is that structure we talked about.
Okay.
Remember, the different tables are exactly the
Okay, good, good.
If we rename anything, does that affect this? Name, like if our images are not what they were.
Well, then we,
Yeah.
we need to coordinate that. Because if the script is looking for a particular name that has to follow that format.
Is that on our list?
I'm just really waiting.
Because I remember us all having that conversation about what should we be naming these
Yeah.
photos?
I'm not
And I don't
sure,
know that
I'm
we
not
ever
sure that we ever
Resolve
resolved.
that.
So I think that's something we'll probably need to do in our next phase.
The name for the photos?
Yeah, well, the name for the files,
Oh,
because if we do the Chrome, the,
content.
yeah, we're going to pull these files, but we're going to have a standard naming configuration
Right.
to know how to pull it.
Oh, I see.
So we're going to have to settle on that naming.
Yeah, we're gonna have to settle on that. And then I don't remember if you remember, but we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and we figured out that we can change the time stamp from dashes to colons to some other stuff too. So that works in terms of pulling pictures and then also entering pictures into PlantCB, because that was also specific.
Our aim is to start taking our research photos on June 1.
Luis, if we enter that code too many times, is it gonna lock us out?
This doesn't keep you from doing
Okay.
your.
Just trying to access the MySQL through the terminal right now.
The what?
This is the bigger.
So when
picture.
he goes to pull the photos, if the names.
But we can do a,
different,
you
that's-
can do a rename.
Got it. Okay.
Do you know why it's denying access?
I might have placed the wrong password or.
And it's a Judith is being pulled the same sentences.
From the Arduino IDE. You can pull it through Arduino. You can read it. Where?
So these are monitoring the water. And then there's a running number that tells you the water level that is being streamed to I. And then if it goes outside of a range, I sends a text message. Well, we're doing it just. We can, yeah. So that I'm gonna have, but that's columns, like.
Please, because I want to talk about that. Because Roman tried that and got confused about the.
Did you try to do it with the Discord bot? Or?
The Discord bot. He got confused.
Okay, yeah, so no, we're doing that.
IDE for Discord.
So you need-
Yeah, so the what, James?
The IDE for
The IP?
Discord.5. It was
Okay.
updated, so pieces, forms are now unique themselves.
Oh, okay.
So that's Nikita is
No.
who wrote me.
No, that's Colin and Keita. So, yeah,
So you haven't looked at how often you're taking data readings and
we're not
temperature?
taking temperature yet. Because we have to take that code.
Yeah.
And put it on the Pi. And then what the Pi does is the Arduino, remember that the Arduino is running through the Pi.
Mhm.
The Pi is the computer.
But you can see it if you want.
Oh, yeah.
to. Yeah.
I've been going in and looking at it. It does jump around.
Okay, so I want to get back to that idea of maybe.
Well, we need to probably do
Samples of-
average. Some kind of an average.
But that's just a simple every
It's an easy thing.
5
Yeah.
countries.
So in
adding
Pi, well, but we can also do it in the Arduino.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Just
saying.
put in the
'Cause
code. there.
For the, I don't have it here.
So that'll be you guys,
That's
Yeah,
like-
it's
Or is that
code.
us?
It's 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's
Code,
easy to do.
but we
Yeah.
can get into that program that are.
I don't know.
Well, you need to know the source code so that you can modify the source code. Because once the code is on, we can modify that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the source code, we just change
Can
the source
we
code.
change the source code from the Raspberry Pi? No, okay, so then we just need a
That's
copy,
one of the
we just need a
problems.
copy of the source
Yeah,
code.
we just need to have, we need to have the source code in an accessible place so that if you want to keep the source code.
Okay, yeah, I know,
Does that make
I
sense?
knew exactly what that
And
is.
then, so you just modify that code and then you upload it to the,
Yeah, do you remember the conversion that I did? So that instead of reading like 615 or whatever, it reads 3 volts or 1.5. It's the same thing.
So it's just a matter of can we
We-
get through it?
we just need the source code.
So that's gonna be fine with the source
I
code.
have the source code, yeah, I have the source
Probably
code
do it
on this computer.
So then I'll get it. I have a flash drive. I'll get it for you.
Well, or I'll send it to you. Depends on how late this goes.
Great.
Okay, so we're back. Luis, what do you got?
Okay, so I'm logging in through the PHP MariaDB through the terminal. So I guess just run through, go sudo mysql
Mhm.
dash u.
But these are all
root
the
dash p.
graph
Yeah.
entries, same thing.
Then we go, we just type in use rocks because that is our database that we're trying to get to. And we go next, show databases in all caps. And then we will select all caps, pound from,
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like he's
Coral.
basically SSH into the MariaDB.
so here's our database on the terminal. And this is what it is on PHP MariaDB. And then you can update it. I find it much more easier to update the terminal to update the table or the database to the terminal. So you can just go like, let's say, had it run through here. Or we can just. And then when we want to update it, we just go select. Select from.
Or I can bring it up over here.
Now we have a new row. You can see at the top. There's it says 17, or it's the ID number. And then now in the new one, we have a row 19. So that means that we were able to update it just like very easily compared to through PHP MyAdmin, you have to make like a separate file, then import it through this through an SQL file. So personally for me, just updating the database is easier just through the terminal. So if you didn't catch that, right here there's on line 17. This is from the previous one. I inserted it through this line of code. I'll access this out. This line of code just updating all the values that need to be inserted into our database. And then up at the bottom down here, there's a new row, line 19, that has an updated set of values. So this is something that.
What is the purpose of doing it, man?
When you get new folders, if you do have to delete that.
Okay.
What was the code you used to update, Louis?
It's in the document. I can highlight it right here.
Oh, it's this code?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Because I'm just making sure everybody knows what is what. And this is just to update the DB.
Yes, and you can also see that it's updated here on our Raspberry or on our PHP MyAdmin.
Okay, so then just to extremely clarify, entering this code to update the DB is very similar in context to updating the Raspberry Pi with sudo apt update.
Yes.
Okay. If you do it in the command line.
Yes.
Nothing is automatic.
Well,
No,
So every day we're taking pictures, it's just automatic. You think. Is it like pulling them or is it pulling them?
Are we pulling automatically or are you pulling with the code?
So there's this event. There's this thing where you can create an event. Well, each day at the required time when the photo is basically sent over from Rocks and Mori, it'll update itself based on the time that it was just like, we could put like a set time. So let's say Mori sends a photo every day at 9 o'clock. An event will update this database at 9 o'clock too, adding a new line of code. So it's not basically getting sent over. It's just like it's getting just updated based on the time that it's being sent.
How's it being sent? That's all?
I thought we were pulling. Because I don't think they're sending anything, are they? So we were going to use, because remember Lucas set it up where we didn't need the password? And we were going to just reach in every day at a certain time and hold down.
Joe, could you repeat that?
Okay, so
To the mic.
we were going to, remember Luca set up their Pi so that we wouldn't need a password
Yes.
to get in. And
Yeah.
we were going to reach in with our cron and pull the data from their Pi to our Pi at a particular time of day.
Yep.
Is that what we're doing, or are you doing that manually?
I'm doing it manually.
Okay, and so we still need to automate that code.
Yes.
Okay. So
Sorry to
I
ask
think
those
we're now,
questions, but
no,
that's
I think
pretty
it's
key.
important for us to
Yeah.
be clear. Yeah, the impression you gave earlier was that we were pulling it. So we are pulling it, but it's still being done manually.
Yes.
Okay. So if it's working manually, it's just a matter of us getting it to.
I think you mentioned you could create an event that does that every day at a certain time if we want to, right, Luis?
Yes.
So it's just a matter of setting it up.
Yep.
Just, it's all good. We're all learning the code.
Well, yeah.
What's that?
Oh, just create. We're all learning code. We'll all figure it out. It's
Yeah,
all
that's
good.
that's what we were just talking about. Just sometimes can be 2 or 3 months, but with Marley on board, I'm sure it'll happen very quickly.
No pressure, Mark.
Right, well, what happens like in 2 weeks from now and Luis is gone, so it's sitting there.
I take over.
Marley's
Like, I'm
working
in
over
the
the
process.
summer. You just got volunteered for the summer.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh, and I'm learning PHP and Java right now also, so I can take over this for Luis and be the backup for when students aren't around.
So we just weren't sure if
Yeah,
you
she
had a
has-
policy if everything sort of shuts down in the summer or, okay,
Well.
Yeah.
Our goal
is that Yes. we're
24/7.
right.
I'll talk to you after.
Yeah, okay.
I had a meeting. Okay, what do we need still? So we need to make sure that according to some schedule that we'll work out with Maury, we need to pull that data,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And what else do we need? Is there anything else, Luis?
At the moment, not really.
Why don't we go ahead and show us the database? Do you have
Can you put the computer like towards you for the
Do you
audience?
have any
Okay.
pictures in the database right now?
Well, this database or like PHP admin doesn't let you upload pictures. This is what we're using as like just like the where it's located at. Because if we upload pictures to the PHP my admin will just like use a lot of this like data. Like it won't all storage will be like gone like in like a week. So we're just basically just having where it's stored at the moment, and then you're saving the pictures on our external hard drive.
Oh, okay, okay,
Remember that
Yeah.
because of how much space the pictures take?
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, is
So
there,
We're gonna need to do something similar if you're using I think in a full sort of place, you may have to send out partition.
if we do set up a partition, that's just a file trainer. I've seen the one that's used at this Pi, and I understand how that works. It's just,
Well, this actually is.
I'm talking about that, the easy store.
Yeah.
And I've seen the code write just exactly to the easy store too, so.
Yep.
What I was gonna say, so you said that it's showing the images for like a period of time in the DB? Or,
It's just a file path.
okay, so then can you open the file path and take us to where it leads?
Through here. No, this is just like a display of it. It's not like a link.
Yeah,
But if you wanted to like go here, just There's just like all URIs. It's not any.
Okay. Oh, these are just links to the pictures in Easy Store.
Yes.
Okay, I see, I see, I see. Can you open one of them?
No, because this is just like it's just updating what was taken. It's not saying, oh, we can display this, because if we do, then the PHP-MyAdmin will run out of storage. So it's just locating all the file path while we
Yes, but
save it
if-
here on our.
If we
All right,
have,
easy
if
store.
we have, if we have a URI there.
No, we can't hear you.
If you have a URI there, and this may be what we have to do in the HTML or in the Apache, because if you're in a browser, right, that has a URL, and so you can't just open a URL. You have to be in a browser. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing if you copy that URL and then open the browser, if Apache is set up right, then it would open.
Okay.
You follow me? So when you open a picture on the web, each of those pictures has a URL, right? And so that picture, then it goes through the URL, it goes through the domain name server, it goes through until it finds the computer, it finds the file, and then that's the picture that it displays on the web page. Okay, so you can't just open a URL. You have to be in like a browser, which knows how to deal with the URL. Okay, it's kind of like me being in a text file and putting http://wizard.org, and I click on it, it doesn't do anything.
It's kind of like when you're accessing data or code from another website on Raspberry
Exactly.
Pi. You say something, something, this website, something, something, -p or whatever.
Exactly.
And it accesses that website.
Brings that there, exactly. Okay, so we're going to need to set that up here somewhere.
How did you brought that picture up now?
Can you repeat that again?
You had a picture before, how did you get that?
Yes, it's right here.
Okay, so here.
He's actually in this.
Here,
I have it. Yeah.
so here, yeah, you can see it. Yeah, but what he did is he went onto the
Easy
drive.
Store. Yeah.
Easy Store.
Then it's a JPEG.
I have a question. Luis.
Yeah.
Do we know if JPEGs have more data than PNGs?
I was trying to figure this out. I tried to initially when I first started doing this, like PHP-MyAdmin, I tried to upload a PNG onto the PHP-MyAdmin. Turns out that they're both like relatively the same, just how much you compress them. Like how
Okay.
like if you compress it to like an extent, like let's say 100 megabits, then it's like you're able to upload to like the server, but it just needs to be compressed to like a very small amount, and then it's very blurry.
Okay.
So based on that, did you decide whether we should do a PNG or a JPEG?
Well, it depends on how we upload it to like the server. Like you could do either. Just using the file path into like a HTML5 or HTML. If you do that, it'll show up the image. It's just figuring out how to get into the server. That's the challenge.
Yeah. It's just compressing them, I guess, is specific, ultra specific, depending on the file.
But, okay, so do we do the compressing or does something else do the compressing when it gets opened in the Apache or something?
Well, here, I have an example. I did like a coding thing for my bio class. So to my screen.
Hang on, I'm
So-
trying to open the footer really quick. How come I'm getting this?
Yeah. You have to use the fingers to click it. You have to open it with image viewer. Otherwise, it'll just be like the straight file path. So you just go here, just 2, and then image viewer. Because if you open it automatically, it just shows you the file path. It doesn't give you the image. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you write that up? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just continue where I was at. So over this year, I had this like bio project that I had to do. So I created this like HTML website from scratch. And something that what I was able to use to like display an image was here through JPEG, you have to basically get like the URL of it. So what we need to do is essentially put the JPEG that we have from the MORI group, put it onto our server or put it onto like the web. So when we are able to like type in the code, we will be able to like fish out what the URL is and then display it automatically.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to say that one more time.
So this is our URL. If you can see right here, where it says HTTPS and /media.sockfood. This is an image that's already uploaded to like a server. It's on the web. And to extract that, all you need to write it down is like the file path of the URL. And in this case, it's JPEG. So what we need to do on our hand is we need to get the JPEG of this image right here, upload it like online so that it becomes like a URL link. And then from the URL link, we're able to write it down and just like upload it to this series of code. And then when you run it, it will display what you're trying to get. If that makes any sense.
I think. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get.
Oh, Joe, can you repeat that?
Just, yeah. So you're saying that but I thought we knew the URL.
We do. It just needs to be uploaded like on the web, so that when you're coding it, it's not.
Okay. Here, I can explain it to him. Give me a
Yeah.
minute. Okay, so we know the URL because the URL is going to be whatever we name. You know, if we want to be like rocks.wizard.org, we can make our web page be rocks.wizard.org because we own wizard.org. So it's like a subdomain. And then we need to create a path for the web deliverable things. Okay, so one part of that path will have to be the remote hard drive.
Okay.
In other words, we'll have to do the /c. So that has to be, because HTML protects your computer. If somebody comes in, they can't just access anything on the computer. And so whatever you want to be delivered over the Okay. So until we do that, this is
Did we know this already?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're just reviewing.
Well, it's just a point that he brought up. I just assumed that we were going to do it, but it's something that he didn't know that you had to do, that he discovered you have to do.
Okay.
And so he's just pointing that out. So like if, for instance, if you had the file path of that image, that is not a link. That's not a URL.
It's just-
fact, if you'll notice, the slices go back this way.
Right.
HTML, it's HTTP slices.
Okay.
So
They're backslashes.
no, these are forward slash. Well, it's a backslash.
So forward slash.
So this is the forward slash. That's
Okay.
What do forward slashes get you?
Well,
Yeah.
forward slashes are what HTML uses. So a forward slash moves you to a different direction.
But if you're talking computer talk. All right, I think we got that now. So.
Yep.
But that's all about setting up our config with
Yes.
the Apache
Yes.
and setting up our HTML. So typically Apache under the www, there you have like index.html, and when you hit wizard.org, it goes to the www page and it looks for the index. And whatever's named index is what comes up. Okay, and you can force it to do something else if in your config you say don't use index. But if it's default, it'll default to index. All righty, what's next?
I'm just pulling up the index file right here.
Oh,
It's right here. Where it says here index.html. This is our index.html that's being displayed on this Apache server.
that's
So that's how you would just like change it.
Okay.
And besides that, that's pretty much it. If there's any other questions?
Can you do me a favor and close out and log back in?
From
Just from a browser. Okay. Okay.
is that it?
So what's cool about it?
About this. That's about it. So you said you can help us with the updates for Apache. Update for Apache.
Well, you don't.
Or the
Okay,
URL.
so we don't have to do any updates to Apache other than when we go on, your Pi every now and then, you're checking for updates, right? For security updates. Yeah, and so you can do updates and it'll tell you, oh, Apache has some updates. And so you're just doing those updates. But Apache, yeah, it's risky to do. I'll talk to you about it. My understanding, Luis, is that you have already set up the Apache 2. And
Yes,
it's
it's
just a
already been set
matter
up.
of, yeah.
Just
So
updating the HTML file.
yeah, it's set up to run. We just have to put what files and what things we want in it. So, okay. And the MySQL is set up with everything that we talked about with Vermont. And so if we want to make changes, we can make changes in the MySQL using the myadmin, PHP myadmin. Okay, anything you can think of, Luis?
No, nothing else at the moment.
Okay, you're still going to be around this summer, right?
Yes, I'm not going anywhere.
Right. Where did you decide to go? Where did you decide to go?
I'm gonna stay here in California. Go to UCI, University of California, Irvine. So it'll be really close. I can come over the weekends too.
We're doing CorkNet is setting up. UC Irvine is our partner now.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, Bob and I are involved with that, setting that up. Okay, good. And so you have a personal IP address or a personal email address?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Do you want me to like write it in the chat, or do you want me to put it on the document?
Write it in the chat. Just write it on yeah.
We have Marley.
He's got yeah, he's got new royalties here for another 3 years.
He's got
Yeah. So what do you think, Marley?
I mean, it seems pretty complicated, if I'm gonna be honest, but
We love honesty. Good.
It seemed more complicated a couple of years ago. Is everybody going to go see the eclipse then after this? Should be starting, you might be able to see the moon around 7:30, 7:45, but it'll still be pretty light out. But about 8:30, I think it's supposed to be the eclipse is starting to be over. So
8:15.
8,
That's what I
8:15.
said. I learned. 8:15.
Okay. All right, so
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
good talking.
Thanks, y'all.
And see you tomorrow.
All right. See you, Joe. See you,
Okay.
Luca.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, we want. Yeah. Does it take a while for?